Hello guys, welcome to this lesson. We continue with knight or bishop d3, 6, e5, knight d2. So this is the main position for knight or we have in this course. So here we already saw some rare moves like b5, knight bd7, queen c7 and so on. We'll move to the main moves. The main move is bishop e7. Bishop e6 is very similar. Knight e6 c6 is kind of rare, but lately played move and it's not so obvious how to get advantage there. But in this particular case we'll start with the move order with bishop e6 immediately, which actually is very similar to bishop e7. Probably bishop e7 is a little bit more accurate, but bishop e6 is also possible. The main difference is that after castle he wants to go knight e7 to keep the bishop there. But here after bishop e6 we will go f4 immediately. And for example, if he goes bishop e7, f5 is not clear after bishop d7. So unfortunately it's not clear. So after bishop e7 we must go castle, and this will transpose to one of the main lines that we will see later in this course. But here after f4 we will see some extra options to take e takes f4 immediately, which looks normal, or to play queen c7. Queen c7 is a rare move, there are not many games. He wants to prepare after f5 to go bishop c4. I think here with simple moves we will gain a little bit of advantage. We simply castle, a4, already is good to prevent b5, king h1, bishop e3, very standard moves. Normally the queen on c7 so early it's not great, because it can be under attack after some knight d5 ideas. So now we go a5 to fix the queen side, it takes f4, there are some other moves but it's not clear how to play with black. If rook f8 we simply go h3, preventing some knight g4 and threatening maybe queen e1, queen g3. Rook d8 is the same, it's not clear how to follow up with black. And if he tries to play for this structure, then I think this is better version from what we're gonna see in the next lessons. Because the problem is the queen is on c7 and now he doesn't have this plan, which is very typical because we will have knight d5 with tempo. So the queen on c7 is not helping black in this structure. So after bishop e6, f4, I think taking is very normal. Knight takes f4. And this position is completely new. There are only a couple of games. But actually it's a possible position. So he has three main moves: bishop e7, knight d7 and knight c6. Anything else looks not so great. So if he starts with the bishop e7, then we take bishop here. This is the whole point, to attack. This actually transposed to the line that we will see next, bishop e3. And this is transposing to 9, knight c6, that we will see now. After knight e4 instead of bishop e7, if he goes knight c6, is the same after take. Bishop here important to attack this pawn. Bishop b3, bishop e7. If he goes castle, this is even worse. Here queen e2. Eventually want to go long castle, and this pawn is hanging all the time. I think the king on this side is not perfect as well. So after bishop b3, bishop e7, transposing to this position, bishop f4. I think this is very simple for white. It's only a small advantage, but our bishop is definitely very unpleasant. He has these weaknesses, and it's not so simple to play. For example, if he goes castle, now e5 is very unpleasant. Knight e4, tactical shot, take, take. For example, this is... sorry, knight c5 of course, because the knight was hanging, queen e8. For example, this is not good because rook d8. But here after knight e6, it's very concrete, but it seems that white is on time. Here, queen f3, rook e1, c3. And white still keeps some pressure thanks to the control of the white squares, and the knight and the bishops are definitely better than black ones. So here after bishop f4, maybe rook d8 makes sense to start with rook d8. So now we have some choice. I think the simplest way is queen d3. Although we can try to save also this bishop, it makes some sense to play e3 as well. But let's say the simplest way is here, knight a5, castle, castle doesn't change much. So knight a5, castle, take, take. And this is not big but simple advantage, e5. White definitely has easier game, the king is very safe on b1. This is a clear weakness, and white's position is very simple. The bishop is very strong. White is just better here, slightly, but very pleasant advantage. So this is about knight c6 or bishop e7, they're very similar. Another option is to try to bring the knight to c5. So now this is different. If we go bishop c4 here, not knight c5 because bishop b3, but after bishop c4 he has this tactical shot. And unfortunately for white this seems to be close to be equal. Still very complicated of course, but according to my analysis it's very difficult to prove advantage. If knight e4 queen h4 is of course the idea, threatening the bishop, the knight, the king. And we have plenty of other options, but they're not helping. If castle, for example, this isn't clear. If queen g4, this is also very close to be completely equal. Next move is bishop f6. Black is in control here. Another option is queen h5 and then queen h3. Take if bc queen f6, if take queen e7. In this endgame, once again, it's maybe a little bit more pleasant for white, but very close to be completely equal. This bishop is nice, but he has also very good blockade with the knight, with the bishop. So it's very close to be equal. So that's why after take in this case, I think already it's better to go with queen e2, knight e5, and bishop f4. In the only game in this position, in the game Watson Chandler played in Germany in 1996, white played bishop c4. But here after, black didn't play the best way, but after knight c4 and queen c8, it seems that black can defend this pawn very easy. It's still a little bit more pleasant for white, but it's close to be completely fine for black. So after knight e2, knight e5, I prefer bishop here, trying to play for long castle. If bishop e7, this will transpose. So let's say queen c7, castle, and b5 I think is the best. If bishop e7, the point is that the difference is that we want to take and to place the bishop here. From this diagonal, this bishop is just fantastic. Rook f1. I think white has a small but very unpleasant for black advantage. For example, here if castle rook e5, it's a very interesting idea. So that's why probably he must start with b5 to not give us this bishop c4 idea. So now we have to choose. This knight is very good, and if he managed to castle, black will be completely fine. So we must do something, and our knight is not very well placed. So now we should play positionally bishop e5. Actually, we can start with knight b1, which is very similar. But basically the idea is that we want to bring the knight to a better square, a very positional way to play. For now, we're using that black is still in the center, the king is still in the center, so he still needs some time to develop his pieces. For example, g4 looks interesting to push the pawn, but black has very good tactical motive, bishop a3, and suddenly black is equalizing. If b8, queen c5, if g5, this is very strong, blocking this rook of course, here. And then suddenly black is fine. We can take on a3, but then he has some checks and it's very difficult to escape from the checks. So I think here this is the best, but then check, rook f8, rook f4. And it's very complicated, completely messy position, but it seems that black is equalizing with correct play. So that's why after d5, knight b1, it's my choice here. This is just doesn't help. Bishop e7, we go here, king b1. And this is very simple advantage, but I think very pleasant, because still black has these weaknesses, and I think it's not a big deal, but it's a small and very long-lasting advantage. So this is about this move further with bishop e6, f4. If he goes bishop e7, we will transpose to the main lines, and if he takes, we have this idea to take very early on e6 and to play bishop c4 eventually. So white is a little bit better in my opinion in this case. So thank you guys for watching this lesson, and see you in the next ones. Thank you.